affordable home ownership is a fundamental part of the American dream, and we're working every day to make that dream a reality for millions and millions of Americans.
The Trump tariffs are adding thousands of dollars of additional expenses to everyday Americans. Right now, rents out of control. Right now, housing prices out of control.
Welcome back to Special Report. In tonight's Common Ground segment, an effort to help first-time homebuyers around the country. Joining us, two senators, Arizona Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego and Indiana Republican Senator Todd Young, co-sponsors of this bill. Senators, thanks for being here. The Uplifting First-Time Homebuyers Act. Why is this important, Senator Gallego?
Well, in Arizona, the average house, first-time house is about $450,000 to $500,000. The average age of a homeowner now in this country is around 38. So young people can't buy homes largely because they just don't have any ability to actually put that first down payment. A lot of them will have access to IRAs, but they can't access that money for the down payment without having a huge freaking penalty. So what we're trying to do is say, listen, you can tap that money, take $50,000 out without any penalty, and use that towards a down payment. And hopefully that starts, circulating so these men and women can buy their first home.
You see first-time homebuyers decrease, so I mean it's going down.
Yeah. Yes.
I hear about this every time I travel around the state. We hold a lot of roundtables on kitchen table issues, and consistently hear that the federal policies aren't crafted to address this problem. So this has been since 1997 that we've adjusted the IRA withdrawal penalty. So it's at 10%, and it applies to $10,000 or more that you take out of your IRA. That hasn't been adjusted for inflation. And in the meantime, the cost of a house, the median cost was $115,000. 30 years later, it's about 5 times that. So it's time we adjust the amount you can take out without penalty.
The U.S. housing market right now, 6.27% on a 30-year fix, $425,000 is the medium list price.
Right. This is really starting to affect America. We have young adults that aren't getting married, young adults that are really feeling, depressed because they're literally, living either with roommates, with family. And, I think when Todd and I grew up, it was pretty well expected. If you had a decent job, you could buy a home and start your family. That's not happening in America anymore. And this is why we're so, urgently trying to get this done.
Is there opposition to it? It seems like it's...
I think it's going to be very well received by Republicans and Democrats alike. Yes. I think a natural question folks might have is, how much does this cost taxpayers? And actually, this brings money into the federal treasury because we anticipate more people pulling money out of their IRAs in order to purchase that first-time home or buy one for their children or grandchildren or elderly parents. And that's going to actually bring revenue into the federal government. So this is a win-win situation. Most importantly, though, a house of your own has long been regarded as one of the cornerstones to the American dream. 100%. People need to be able to get into a house early, though, to realize the benefits of generational wealth and asset appreciation.
And as someone that comes from a big family, being able to have kids, it helps a lot.
Yeah, you guys have worked together before. You both co-sponsored the Halt Fentanyl Act. You've done other things together. Yeah. Is this happening up there despite the big pull on the partisan side?
There are quiet efforts like this. I think Ruben and I, both being U.S. Marines, have it's easy for us to sort of connect on different issues. But there's this. I'm working with Senator Mark Kelly on a shipbuilding initiative that I know we've talked about, Brett, and I know Ruben could cite other issues.
I've worked with Senator McCormick on other housing issues. There's a lot of stuff. Todd and I, a lot of times when we're talking about bills in the gym, right? That's where we actually have a lot of conversations. You could tell it actually works. He works out. So I'm getting there, but that's where we have actually kicked around a lot of legislation and really have frank conversations. And I think, you see a lot of, conflict. What you don't see are these quiet conversations and friendships that really do exist.
All right. There is a push and pull here happening now with the government shutdown.
The American people are in a crisis in healthcare. The American people are seeing that we are on their side, doing everything we can to get the Republicans to negotiate and address this crisis.
The progress we made on appropriations and the conversations that were underway on the COVID-era Obamacare subsidies and all those issues, all that sits at a standstill until Democrats reopen the government.
This seems like it's going on forever. Do you all foresee a way to get to a conclusion?
No, I think what's likely to happen here, to be fair to my colleague, and since we're talking about this other issue, the lines of demarcation are drawn. We know what Republicans want. We want to open the government without making any policy changes. The Democrats are pushing for some policy changes. I think what is likely to happen is we'll see what happens with the polls, see who the American people are more persuaded by, and then we're likely to see some movement from one side or the other after a number of weeks. In the meantime, I think it's really important we continue to do the people's work. So that's why we're here. We're focused on other issues. We're focused on finding common ground. And I think this is one issue that is really going to resonate with the American people, and we'll get it across the line in coming months.
So maybe the House should be the same way.
I think it should.
I should.
I know you've made that argument.
Yeah.
Well, what about on your side? Is there give? Is there a give?
Yeah, look, we've had unofficial conversations with our Senate colleagues, our friends, and we understand that in this world we're not going to get everything we want. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and the premiums, how they exist, are not going to be exactly what we get, what we've had in the past, right? It's divided government. We have to negotiate, and I think there's ways for us to do that could get these guys to come along and join us. They don't want to increase premiums. They represent the same Americans that we do, but there is room to grow together, and we all want to land this plane, both for our constituents, but the country as a whole.
Yeah, because the checks
we
are
do need
stopping.
to talk about that, but I would, since we're veering over that line, we'll wait until after the government's open to negotiate on that.
So there's the split.
There we are. We'll see you in the parking lot.
Yeah. Well, we held common ground for a while. Senators, thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, buddy, I can see you.